Hello, everyone, and welcome. You're watching Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ace Ramirez coming to you from Washington, D.C. Tonight, we have updates from several of our correspondents from North and South America. May Davila in Ciudad de Panama reports about the reopening of Panama's Children's Hospital specialized outpatient services. Thomas Lightneth in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, tells us why COVID-19 is putting retirement plans for many Canadians on hold. I'm Elin Ramos in Washington, D.C.
President Trump and Joe Biden look for alternatives to their nomination conventions and the battle over mail-in ballots.
Ken Cruz in Fort Washington, Maryland, updates us on Tropical Storm Isaias, leaving floods and outages in Maryland. Myla Timbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
A call for legislative action to assist Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement's impending funding crisis due to the pandemic.
May Ann Manzano Guerzon, Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Roughly 1.4 million New Jersey households lost power due to Tropical Storm Isaias.
Rani Bayuga in Parisburg, Ohio.
Governor DeWine issues mask order for K-12 students.
Nicole Padilla in Baton Rouge reports about Louisiana keeping its current Phase 2 restrictions through August 28. Tristan Diaz in Bakersfield, California.
The Los Angeles Department of Health says there will be no acceptance of reopening in-person learning elementary education waivers for LA County.
For EBC Sports, Melissa Potes in Orlando, Florida, shares with us Tampa Bay's LeJean McCoy's motivation for the upcoming NFL season. And Julianne Evangelista in Boston reports about the Celtics coming up short in a late-game comeback against the Miami Heat. Plus, some chit-chat with our Eagle News team about our college majors and the many considerations before choosing them. But first, an overview of the COVID-19 situation. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, August 5th, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 18,600,000. This includes more than 4,800,000 in the U.S. and more than 119,000 in Canada. The virus has claimed more than 703,000 lives worldwide. This includes more than 157,000 deaths in the U.S. and over 9,000 in Canada. Our coverage begins now. After re-engineering health and safety protocols, Panama's Children's Hospital is scheduled to reopen its specialized outpatient services this August. In Ciudad de Panama, May Davila has the details.
Thank you, Ace. On March 16 of this year, the Directorate of the Hospital del Niño, Dr. Jose Renan Esquivel, announced the suspension of the outpatient services of the largest public children's hospital in the country in response to the recommendation issued by the Ministerio de Salud. After the re-engineering carried out in the specialized outpatient consultation to guarantee physical distance, with the purpose of reducing the crowding of people and minimizing the chain of infections by the COVID-19 virus, the Hospital del Niño announced that the specialized outpatient consultation service will reopen starting Monday, August 10. A total of 10 out of 32 medical specialties will be offered. These are neurology, dermatology, hematology, cardiology, endocrinology, neonatology, otorhinolaryngology, ophthalmology, orthopedics, and infectious diseases. The staff of the Health Statistics and Record Services will be responsible for rescheduling the appointments by telephone of each patient and will call 48 hours before to confirm the appointment and reiterate the indications ensuring that they have not had contact with the COVID-19 patient, nor have they any suspicious symptoms. In case of presenting the aforementioned situations, a new appointment will be rescheduled with a waiting period of not less than 20 days. The hospital enabled telephone lines for new patients to coordinate appointments according to the specialty that corresponds to their needs and to answer the inquiries of parents regarding the monitoring of their child's care. A care protocol has been established which aims to provide an effective and safe service both to patients, relatives, and employees of the institution. This protocol includes certain preventive measures for those who go for an appointment to comply with. 1. Attend the appointment at the indicated time. 2. Only one family member or companion per patient will be allowed. 3. New patients must call to coordinate their appointment, and when going to the hospital, they must bring the medical reference. 4. The use of a mask is mandatory except for children under 2 years. 5. The consumption of food and beverages is prohibited. On the other hand, within the hospital, certain measures have also been established to guarantee hygiene, including liquid soap or alcohol gel and paper towels in the doctor's offices and health services, alcohol gel dispensers located in the waiting rooms, entrance of the corridors, and reception. All the sanitary and administrative staff will be reinforced with biosecurity measures regarding hand cleaning, use of a mask, equipment disinfection, and waste management, among others. Desde Ciudad de Panama, May Davila, Eagle News, vivimos en tiempos interesantes. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, May. COVID-19 is putting retirement plans for many Canadians on hold. In Edmonton, Bureau Chief Thomas Lightness tells us why.
Thank you, Ace. A new study suggests 1/3 of pre-retirement Canadians are considering working longer, in part because of the pandemic. A report done by the research company AgeWave for the investment dealer Edward Jones suggests many people were not adequately prepared for retirement before COVID-19, and it says the pandemic has only made matters worse, throwing them further off course. The devastating effect of COVID-19 on the economy has disrupted the savings plans of millions of people. Financial pressure prompted 2 million Canadians to stop regularly contributing to their retirement savings. And this, of course, coincided with the massive layoffs this spring. Paychecks just weren't coming in once the pandemic began. And what do those retirement savings look like? How much money is in the bank? Well, for Canadians aged 55 to 64, are you sitting down? This is going to shock you. The median retirement savings was just $3,000. Now, if you don't have a private pension plan, if you're just relying on government pension plans, no other investments, in Canada, you're going to be trying to scrape by on just over $1,500 a month. 1/3 of those surveyed said they'll, as a result, retire later because of the pandemic. Now, before the outbreak, 54% of adults planning to retire thought they'd have enough money. Now, that number stands at 39%. Here's some other findings of the study. Helping family members across generations is going both ways. 17% of retirees and 3 out of 10 Canadians over 75 say they've turned to adult children for financial help. As well, 1.8 million older Canadians say they've had to dig into their wallets to help out their adult children. Overall, 1 in 5 Canadians say the pandemic has had a negative effect on their personal finances, the hardest hit being Gen Z and millennials. These are the people between the ages of 18 and 39. They say they're feeling it the worst. These financial problems weren't caused by the pandemic. They've been a long time in the making. They've just been brought to the forefront by COVID-19. Many studies have shown the vast majority of pre-retirees have no idea how much money they'll need to save in retirement. The good news, though, the pandemic seems to have served as a wake-up call for younger generations. More than half say they're interested now in receiving some personal financial education so they can plan for the future. In the meantime, I wish you all good health. Take care of others. Take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Tom. When we come back, updates from our correspondents across the U.S. Eagle News America will return after this break. Stay with us.
Hello there, I'm Alfred, and I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, batch of 2008 in New Era University. I'm currently working as an operations analyst in Autodesk.
Hi, I'm Earl Escanio, and I graduated with Bachelor of Science major in Computer Science in 2010. I am a consultant at Trinity Consulting, LLC.
Hi, I'm Ivy Macapagal, Bachelor's of Computer Science graduate, year 2010. I'm currently working as a cybersecurity analyst in one of the largest telco here in New Zealand, Coast Park NZ.
I'm Frank David Riego, a BS Computer Science graduate here in 2015. As a legal analyst, I am tasked to read US cases, specifically civil torts cases.
I am Melanie Rico Hermosity, a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science graduate, year 2006.
I'm currently a software quality assurance engineer at FBI Systems here in Maryland, United States.
Hi, I'm Renzo Cruz. I'm a graduate of BS Computer Science, year 2012. I'm currently working abroad, and I'm working as a senior cybersecurity consultant who specializes in digital forensics and incident response. And I am part of a national security in one of the countries here in the Middle East.
I am inviting everyone to study at New Era University. To legit, to grit.
Be brilliant in the new era.
Study now at New Era University.
Excellence,
Discipline,
Service to humanity.
Si Isay Alvarez.
Ako naman po si Robert Senya.
Abangan niyo po kami.
Yes, dito po sa Himig ng Lahi.
Ngayong linggo.
Alas 8 ng gabi.
Dito lang sa Net25.
Kung laging panaginip ko'y tanging ikaw, di ang totoo madalas mong mapagaling langanan. Ang puso kong tapat sa pagsintang di mo alam.
Nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. Ibig sabihin, kinakailangan ng tao na magpakasipag upang umunlad ang pamumuhay. At dito kaagapay natin ang unlad sa pagbibigay nila ng hanap buhay sa ating mga kababayan.
Sa episode na ito ay tatalakayin natin at aalamin natin ang mga bagay ukol sa poultry o manukan. Ituturo din namin sa inyo ang maaaring inyong pagkakakitaan dyan mismo sa inyong tahanan, ang manukan sa bakuna.
Samahan niyo po kami sa isa sa pinakamalaking poultry dito sa Pilipinas, ang Maligaya Mega Poultry. Ako po, si Robin Padilla, at ito ang ulat, kaagapay sa hanap buhay. Dito lamang po sa Net25.
Hi, I'm Gladys Reyes. Join me on the newest online show of EBC Films, Pelikwentuhan. Every Monday, catch it live on EBC Films' official YouTube channel and Facebook page. Do not forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our official social media accounts. See you!
Hi, I'm Vina Morales. Abangan ang part 2 ng Tagisan ng Galing dito lang sa Net25.
Accurate and fair reporting. Not only from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi, but also abroad. Detailed and timely stories relevant to people all over the world. Catch all of these at Net25, your reliable source of news, entertainment, and technology updates.
We know that this is a scary time for all of us.
The coronavirus is changing the world.
Changing our lives.
So please, take care of yourself.
Keep your distance.
Wash your hands.
And if you can, stay at home.
We at DW
are here for you.
We are working tirelessly to keep you informed on all of our platforms.
We're all in this together.
And together,
we'll make it through.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Please, stay safe.
Mga kababayan, naharap na naman po tayo sa mabigat na pagsubok na ito. Ito yung COVID-19.
I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's safe.
Nandito po kami para hikayatin pa po kayo na maging matibay.
Mas maging matatag po tayo and just stay positive po sa lahat po ng nangyayari ngayon.
Mga mahal kong kababayan, lampasan po natin, pagtagumpayan po natin ang pagsubok na ito.
Stay strong sa panahon po na to.
Huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa.
At inihikayat din po namin kayo na sana makinig po tayo sa ating gobyerno.
Sumunod muna tayo sa gobyerno dahil yun yung pinakamainam na paraan para hindi na lumagana pa yung virus.
Let's all stay at home.
Spend time with our loved ones, with our families.
At higit po sa lahat, make sure to pray for everyone, pray for everything that is going on right now, especially our frontliners po who are sacrificing their lives to take care of everything.
Higit sa lahat, patuloy tayong lumapit, magtiwala at manalangin sa ating Panginoong Diyos.
Lagi tayong manalangin dahil yung po ang may pinaka-mainam na solusyon sa lahat po ng mga problema natin.
God bless you and your family. Please stay strong and keep our faith.
Tuloy po ang laban.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez in Washington, D.C. President Trump and Joe Biden look for alternatives to their nomination conventions. In Washington, D.C., Imelin Ramos reports.
Thank you, Ace. The latest Real Clear Politics national poll average has Joe Biden over President Donald Trump by about 7 points, 90 days to the presidential election. As we continue to hear COVID-19 statistics, both Biden and President Trump scrambled to replan their nomination speeches. In previous elections, the nomination speeches were filled with so much pomp and circumstance that it has become almost a tradition in the United States. This year's nomination speeches will be unprecedented and completely different from what we're used to. Today, challenger and presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden announced that he would accept his nomination virtually. And in similar manner, President Trump suggested that he would hold his own ceremony from the White House. According to the Biden campaign, the former vice president would make his nomination speech from his Delaware home, where he has spent most of the last few months. They cite coronavirus health risks as the reason why he will not accept the nomination in the Democratic Convention in Milwaukee, which was scheduled for August 17 to 20. Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez said, quote, "From the very beginning of this pandemic, we put the health and safety of the American people first." So the Democratic National Convention will be a fully virtual affair. As for the Republican National Convention, President Trump signaled he may also accept his nomination from home, in his case, the White House. He said in an interview with another network, quote, "I love the building. I'm here right now. I spend a lot of time here." President Trump's acceptance speech was originally planned for North Carolina on August 27, but due to coronavirus concerns, the president was left to look for other alternatives. With COVID-19 not going away anytime soon, the actual voting during the presidential election will be indeed a logistical and technological challenge. What has been a topic of discussion lately is the increased use of mail-in ballots. The president argues against the increased use of mail-in ballots, more particularly universal mail-in ballots. President Trump says this would lead to a fraudulent election. Please take a look.
Absentee is great. It works. Like in Florida, they'll do absentee. It really works. But universal mail-in ballots is going to be a great embarrassment to our country. Well, I have the right to do it. We haven't gotten there yet, but we'll see what happens.
Democrats say President Trump fears more mail-in voting because this will increase turnout and would hurt his chances. It has been estimated by elections experts that 50 to 70 million votes could be cast in November via USPS and another 50 million in person. If this is the case, there is much work needed to get the ballots in the hands of the voters. Though there are clear issues with mail-in voting, some analysts suspect President Trump is trying to cast doubt on the legitimacy of the election so that he can gain a political advantage. Ultimately, each state manages their own voting processes. We'll just have to be ready for whatever our state decides. Whatever the process will be, I believe that all of us want every vote to count. In Washington, D.C., I'm Lynn Bondoc Ramos, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Imelin, voting by mail does appeal to many people. Yes. I believe that if this can be done fairly and properly, many would opt to vote by mail as opposed to waiting on long lines and having to worry about social distancing. But just out of curiosity, have there been any reports of problems when it comes to mail-in ballots?
Well, yes, Ace, an interesting question. Who wouldn't want to vote from the comfort of their home and then mailing it in, right? But to be fair, there have been examples of problems with mail-in ballots. One congressional fight in New York is still unresolved because of the Postal Service's poor handling of ballots. In Wisconsin, it has been reported that tens of thousands of people never received their mail ballots and that thousands more weren't counted because they were delivered late. Well, in addition, there have already been more than 130 lawsuits that have been filed across the country over mail-in voting. So there are issues that need to be worked out, but studies have shown that voter fraud is extremely rare in the United States. So maybe we'll see a combination of mail-in ballots and in-person voting, but we'll just have to wait and see how our states will manage the voting process. Ace.
Thank you, Imelin. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, thank you, Ace.
Tropical storm Isaias leaves floods and outages in the state of Maryland. In Fort Washington, Ken Cruz has the details.
Thanks, Ace. Tropical storm Isaias caused more than 60,000 power outages and flooded multiple areas as it left as much as 9 inches of rain throughout Maryland. With winds up to 70 miles per hour and intense downpours, trees were sent crashing onto cars and homes, along with several tractor trailers being overturned. Dozens of roads were also closed. A driver was killed by the storm in Mechanicsville after a large tree fell onto their car. No other passengers were in the car. Southern Maryland was hit particularly hard as a family in St. Mary's County had to be extracted by a rescue crew after trees fell on their home. This according to the Maryland Emergency Management Agency. The Weather Service said that 3 separate tornadoes spread through southern Maryland on Tuesday morning, 2 in St. Mary's County and the other in Calvert County. In Baltimore area, rainfall totals range from 2.5 to 5 inches. Power went out in the Department of Public Works facility in Baltimore County, as well as 2 closed schools. Here in Prince George's County, state troopers rescued 2 drivers who tried to cross Brandywine Road when rising floodwaters swept their vehicles off the street. One of the drivers was transported to the hospital for treatment. The Maryland State Highway Administration responded to 130 incidents during the storm, one including a crash that involved 3 overturned tractor trailers on the US 50 bridge in Cambridge. As for power outages, Anne Arundel County bore the highest number at 17,329 without power by 10:30 a.m. Tuesday. Baltimore and Harford counties had 2,000 outages each. Power was restored to half of the 60,000 outages in the state by early Tuesday night. Governor Larry Hogan and other officials had called on residents to stay home if possible because flash floods caused dangerous conditions and temporary road and bridge closures. All COVID-19 testing operations were suspended for the day. The tropical storm rushed through Maryland most of Tuesday morning, and by mid-afternoon, the Weather Service said only residual wind gusts and some flooded remained. In Fort Washington, Maryland, Ken Cruz, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
There is a call for legislative action to assist the Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement's impending funding crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In Swarthmore, Bureau Chief Myla Simbulan will tell us more. Myla.
Thanks, Ace. Due to the rising cost of operations and the challenge this pandemic brought due to inactivity during the shutdown, the Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement's funding is in crisis. Today, Agriculture Secretary Russell Redding and Kathy, the Capitol Police Public Service dog, joined supporters outside Pennsylvania State Capitol in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in a plea for legislative action needed to protect Pennsylvania's dogs, their owners, and their communities. Take a look.
All of the services of the Bureau of Dog Law are in jeopardy. Why? Because the restricted fund for dog law will go negative in September. The services are funded, as noted, primarily through the sale of dog licenses here in Pennsylvania and have been since the enactment of the dog law, $6.50 a year, which haven't increased in 24 years. The challenge of COVID-19 has exacerbated the fund balance because of the inactivity of license sales during the March to May time period. But even without those 3 months and the interruption of COVID, we would be in the position of this year, of being negative in our fund. We understand as the Commonwealth is desperately trying to address the issues of finance with the Commonwealth that money is tight, but we also believe this is a priority. This is a moment when we have to make sure that those animals are cared for and protected, and the services that our Bureau of Dog Law is providing continues. We need the House and the Senate to take action on legislation.
Nearly 90% of the Bureau's funding comes from the annual dog license fees, and it has not increased in 24 years. Senator Judy Schwank and Representative Eddie Day Pashinsky have sponsored Senate Bill 663 and House Bill 1504, respectively, proposing to bring dog license fees in line with other costs of living increases over the past 24 years. So what is the risk of losing needed funding for the Bureau? Here's Senator Judy Schwank of Pennsylvania's 11th District.
Bureau dog wardens have led the charge in shutting down puppy mills in the Commonwealth, illegal kennels that profit over lack of care. The Bureau helps lost dogs find their way home by providing physical licenses that identify that dog as yours. These are critical services that need funding. Without intervention, the department will lose its ability to function next year.
Currently, a license for a spayed and neutered dog costs $6.50. The new fee would be $10. A lifetime license for a spayed or neutered dog costs $31.50. The new fee would be $49. In addition to a minimal fee increase, this bill seeks to lower the age at which a dog must be licensed from 3 months to 8 weeks, the age at which puppies can be transferred to a new owner. This would help increase awareness among dog owners of the legal requirement to license a dog. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simbulan, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Myla, a lot of us may be wondering, what are the roles of the Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement?
That's a good question, Ace. The Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement is responsible for ensuring the welfare of breeding dogs and puppies. They are responsible for rehoming stray dogs. They monitor about 500 dogs in the Dangerous Dog Registry. They also enforce rabies vaccinations, and also they investigate those contagious disease outbreaks among puppies and dogs. Ace?
Thanks for the enlightenment, Myla. Roughly 1.4 million New Jersey households are without power due to Tropical Storm Isaias. In Sicklerville, Eagle News correspondent May Ann Manzano-Guerzon reports.
Thank you, Ace. New Jersey state officials on Wednesday reported that 1.4 million households lost power due to Tropical Storm Isaias, and 977,000 are still awaiting restoration. Take a look.
So yesterday, Tropical Storm Isaias swept across the state with high winds and lashing rains. And as I've mentioned on several interviews and conversations, the legacy of this storm is going to be power outages. At the storm's height, roughly 1.4 million households were without power. As of now, Joe, I've got approximately 977,000 are still waiting for restoration. This morning, I toured storm-damaged areas of Jackson Township with other leaders, Senator Sam Thompson, a dear friend, Ocean County Freeholder Director Joe Vicari, with whom I actually had spoken yesterday, another great leader, and Jackson Mayor and friend Michael Reyna. We were also with JCP&L's President Jim Fakolt. I asked Joe to join us today to speak to the BPU's ongoing monitoring of the efforts of our electric suppliers to restore power. For some residents, we know that restoration may take some time, counting in days instead of hours. I've been back and forth with mayors, county officials, electric service CEOs, and many others over the past now 72 hours. One example of a community that's still digging out. This morning I was back and forth with Mayor Rick LaMonaco of Alamucci Township in Warren County, And Rick said to me this morning that 90% of his community is without power, just to give you one example. So we urge everyone's patience as crews are working as quickly as possible. And remember, many crews could not get out into the field, and Joe always reminds us of this, as they wanted to yesterday because the storm's sustained winds made it hazardous for them to do so. So you couldn't envision women and men up in those buckets working in wind gusts of 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. We also know that there are out-of-state crews both already in.
RP also reported that New Jersey Transit is also a victim of the storm and that they are already working to fully restore its rail services to its regular schedule. He urged to visit njtransit.com before leaving your home to check their latest schedules. State parks were also impacted by the storm and remain closed as damage assessments are ongoing. Meanwhile, here is today's statistical report of New Jersey's COVID-19 cases. According to the Department of Health of New Jersey, there are 378 new positive cases reported today, bringing a statewide total of 183,327 New Jerseyans tested positive. Sadly, we have 8 new deaths, pushing the total to 13,989 fatalities. New Jersey's rate of transmission is 1.32%, while spot positivity rate is 2.57%. New Jersey remains on stage 2 of its road to recovery. And Ace, for some weather update, it's now 10:13 in the evening here in Sicklerville, and it's partly cloudy. Our current temperature is 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius. The high today was forecast as 87 degrees Fahrenheit or 31 degrees Celsius. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, Mayan Manzano Garzon, Eagle News, will live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Mayan, you mentioned in the report, thousands of households have lost power due to the storm. When can we expect these households' power to be restored?
As mentioned by the governor in the video that we presented, and Joe Fiordalizo, the president of the Board of Public Utilities here in New Jersey, many crews are coming here in New Jersey from different states just to help and assist in the restoration process. However, due to the large impact of Storm Isaias, it will take some time. And according to Joe, they're hoping that by late Friday night, 80% of the customers who lost power would have been restored. Ace?
Thank you, man. Coming up, more updates from our correspondents after the break. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
Bukas na po ang auditions para sa Tagisan ng Galing Part 2. Mag-audition na po kayo sapagkat mahigit sa 7 million pesos ang nag-aantay na papremyo sa kategorya ng sayawan at kantahan. Opo, Tagisan ng Galing Part 2. Dito lamang po yan sa Net 25.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Hi, this is Carlo Cuevas. Watch out for the newest online show of ABC Films, Pelikwentuhan. Will be hosted by Miss Gladys Reyes and Raymond Di Mayuga. Watch it live sa aming YouTube channel and Facebook page. Kita-kits!
Mga kababayan, lalo na sa mga OFWs sa Middle East at North Africa, may good news kami para sa inyo. Mapapanood na ninyo ang Net25 at iba pang Filipino channels na hatid ng OSN sa presyong abot kaya. Libre ng box at installation, walang admin fees at no extra charges. Saktong entertainment na sakto lang sa budget mo. Bumisita na sa pinakamalapit na OSN store o dealer. And subscribe now! Sa Net25 at OSN, siguradong at home ka dito.
Hello there. Imagine Demi got the virus and she infected 2 more. And those 2 infected a lot more of people. And it goes on and on until it became an epidemic. But what if Demi stayed at home? Then those 2 wouldn't have contracted the virus. Then those people would have not been infected. This is not just your battle, it's everyone's, and you can be a huge help. Follow social distancing, or better yet, stay at home.
Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez in Washington, D.C. Governor Mike DeWine issues a mask order for Ohio's K-12 students. In Perthburg, Eagle News correspondent Rani Bayuga reports.
Thank you, Ace. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine tweeted today about the order to be issued requiring K-12 students to wear facial coverings in school. The new mandate was a joint recommendation from the Ohio Children's Hospital Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics. Governor Mike DeWine also added, without a vaccine, we are limited in the ways that we can protect the people of Ohio. For schools to have a fighting chance to stay open this fall, widespread face coverings for K-12 students will increase the odds that kids will go to school and stay in school. Also, counties in public emergency level 3 is now down to 13 from 23. This is a testament that social distancing and wearing masks can be effective in to reduce the amount of exposure and spread of the COVID virus. There are still some concerns regarding the number of rural counties that have gone up to level 2. But the drop of 10 counties from the level 3 public emergency status, and 2 of which were originally highly likely to go into level 4, is good news for Ohio. The number of positive cases currently are at 96,305. Its 21-day trend is going down. Deaths at 3,596. It is also trending down. Hospital admissions at 11,231 and ICU admissions at 2,609, both are also trending down. Travel advisory. Based on the 7-day rolling average of positivity rates as of August 5, 2020, people traveling from the following states into Ohio are recommended to self-quarantine for 14 days. We have Mississippi at 25.8%, Alabama at 19.9%, Nevada at 19.0%, Florida at 18.2%, Arizona at 18.1%, and Idaho at 17.5. The travel advisory is for states with a positivity rates of 15% and above. Ohio is currently at 5.7%. From Perrysburg, Ohio, Ronnie Bayuga, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Rani, how do you feel about sending your kids back to school? Oh, you have kids?
I have 4 kids, and one is still going to junior high, and the other is in college. So we are concerned about it, and we are lucky in our school district that it is an option for us to have our kids stay at home. But they are also adhering to all the laws, all the mandates issued by the state of Ohio. And one of which is if the emergency status of the county increases, they also start to fall back on the number of school days the kids are expected to go to school. So these are really good, well thought out procedures that they brought out. Also, the governor also stated that based on studies, the schools themselves will also reflect the same amount of positivity rate the county has. So that's something to consider for parents when they are bringing their children to school.
But personally, what's your preference? In-person instruction or virtual education?
Right now, I would prefer that they stay at home. It's just because we need the kids to actually get used to wearing these masks at school, and that'll take some time. So that might also expose the other kids and bring it home.
How about the kids? What do they prefer?
My youngest one wants to go back to school. He misses his friends.
Same with my older one. Thank you so much, Rani.
Thank you, Ace.
The state of Louisiana will keep its current phase 2 restrictions through August 28. Eagle News correspondent Nicole Padilla in Baton Rouge has the details.
Thank you, Ace. On Tuesday, August 4, Governor John Bel Edwards announced that he will extend his Phase 2 order for at least another 21 days. The current order, which calls for the statewide mask mandate, bar closures to on-site consumption, and a crowd size limit of 50 people, expires on Friday, August 7. However, Governor Edwards will sign a new order before the end of the week that extends this order until Friday, August 28. Governor Edwards said, according to the White House report yesterday, Louisiana is in the red zone for cases, indicating a rate above 10%. In its weekly recommendations to the state, the White House Coronavirus Task Force specifically recommends continuing both the statewide mask mandate and the closure of bars to on-premises consumption. We may be seeing fewer new cases, but there is still a lot of COVID in the state. We now have ticked above 50,000 active confirmed cases, which means there is more COVID in our state than ever before. We need deeper, sustained gains. That is why I am extending the restrictions we have in place for another 21 days so we can continue the progress we are making and protect against additional spread of COVID-19. I am deeply appreciative of the vast majority of Louisianans and businesses who are acting responsibly and caring for their neighbors. Governor Edwards added, "We are in this together for the long haul, and I am confident that we can continue to slow the spread of COVID-19 in our state. If each and every Louisianan will recommit to these necessary mitigation measures, we are at a critical point in our battle against COVID-19, and we need every person in our state to play their part." In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I'm Nicole Padilla, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
The Los Angeles Department of Health says there will be no acceptance of reopening in-person learning elementary education waivers for LA County. In Bakersfield, we have Tristan Diaz with a story.
Thank you, Ace. Los Angeles County Department of Public Health announces that Los Angeles County will not be accepting reopening in-person learning elementary education waivers at this time in compliance with state guidelines. Last month in mid-July, California Governor Gavin Newsom stated that the state will have a waiver process to permit in-person learning for selected elementary schools in counties that are on the county data monitoring list within the last 14 days if they can comply with strict health and safety requirements and infection control protocols. This reopening in-person learning elementary education waiver is now available and applies only to grades transitional kindergarten or TK through 6th grade. As of this week, the California Department of Public Health or CDPH added a recommendation to this waiver process. The State Public Health Department issued this additional advisory. CDPH recommends that schools within jurisdictions with 14-day case rates more than 2 times the threshold to be on the county monitoring list, more than 200 cases per 100,000 population, should not be considered for a waiver to reopen in-person instruction. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health will follow this new state guidance. Currently, the county has a rate of 355 cases per 100,000 population. This means that elementary schools in Los Angeles will not be allowed to reopen with the in-person learning, but only through distance learning and online classrooms. In summary, all schools in all grade levels, both public and private, across Los Angeles County will reopen only through online platforms for student learning. Barbara Ferrer, the Los Angeles Public Health Director, re-emphasized in the press conference today, "We know that to many families this is a disappointing announcement, but it's based on the existing science and data that is guiding all of our decision making. We need to ensure the health and safety of our children, school teachers and staff and all of their families. But the county public health department did give hope to parents and students that they will reconsider the decision once the case rate of Los Angeles County will meet the recommended levels given by the state. Parents and students here in Los Angeles have mixed reactions to this recent announcement from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. Here's one parent's reaction to this situation. Take a look.
And I agree with our county's decision to continue with the distance learning. I feel like it's not safe to come back yet, given our current situation in this pandemic, and we're not even on the second wave yet. So, Maddie, can you make the addition sentence? 40 cents on this one, right? How about here?
30 cents.
And 30 cents. It's sad that our kids are not going to have that social interactions with their peers, but I would rather have them be well and healthy with us rather than fearing that they might get the disease later on.
Sun warms you and the sun warms me.
Us parents just have to do our best to support our kids in this new norm.
And for the update, the number of newly reported cases in Los Angeles County today is 2,347 and 68 new deaths. The total number of confirmed cases in the county is 197,912 with 4,825 deaths and 1,768 current hospitalizations. Meanwhile, the state of California has a total of 524,722 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 9,703 deaths as recorded by the California Department of Public Health. In Bakersfield, California, Tristan Diaz, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Tristan, why is it that the waiver only applies to elementary school?
According to the California Department of Health website, the latest scientific data suggests that students in grades transitional kindergarten or TK through 6th grade have lower COVID-related risk when compared to those older. So including the lower risk of child-to-child or child-to-adult infection involving students younger than 12. Ace?
How about in your county? Will the elementary schools in your county be allowed to reopen with in-person student?
That's a good question, Ace. The short answer is probably not. Reason being is that Kern County is currently also on the state's watch list for a high rate of COVID cases. The California Department of Health recommends that counties on the watch list greater than twice the threshold that placed them on the county monitoring list not reopen schools until the coronavirus numbers drop and stabilize below 200 cases per 100,000 population. So online distance learning for elementary school kids may well have to continue here in this county too. Ace?
I see. All right, thanks, Tristan. And now for EBC Sports, Tampa Bay's LeJean McCoy says he is motivated for the upcoming NFL season. In Orlando, Melissa Potes reports.
Having won Super Bowl 54 with the Kansas City Chiefs and now a member of the Tampa Bay Bucks, running back LeSean McCoy talks about what motivates him to play in this upcoming NFL season.
I think the biggest thing, man, like where I'm at in my career, I had a couple of teams, reach out. And no disrespect to the teams, but just it didn't fit. I mean, I wanna win. I wanna contribute. I need something to push me. I wanna be with a group of guys that wanna win. And I think this is a perfect place. You talk about Rob. I've been friends with Rob for so long, and just seeing how he came back. You get that itch, man, to compete. Then you bring Tom Brady here with already the group of guys they already had as far as the young guys. And I want to be part of it, man. I really do. It's a good mixture of leadership with age and also the youth and talent. I started out pretty hot in KC when I got there. And some things happen, which happens in football. So I think just another part of that is just to go out there and show players and teams that I still can play. I think a lot of questions about guys here like that, and I want to fit in. I want to be part of that group that, hey, we got things to prove. I've did a lot of great things in my career, but I'm not finished. And then when I decide to step out in the field, man, and to continue my career, it means a lot. I really dive in, man. I give it my all. And that could be a lot of different things, from on the field playing to actually helping out the younger guys in the room. I witnessed today that they're so young, and I really could help them out for this team and for the future. I just want to have a big impact, man, any way I can. But I also want to get out there and contribute, man, and show my worth.
With veteran talents of McCoy, Tom Brady, and Rob Gronkowski, will the Bucs have what it takes to make a Super Bowl run this year? Tune into Eagle News for more updates and highlights on the start of the NFL season. In Orlando, Florida, Melissa Potes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Now back to you.
Let's go to the NBA. The Boston Celtics fall short in a late-game comeback against the Miami Heat. Eagle News correspondent Julianne Evangelista reports.
The NBA has had much success in reopening their season in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Playing in the bubble may be the norm for now, but one thing that isn't lost is the competitiveness between the teams. On Tuesday night, the Boston Celtics tried to win 2 in a row as they went against the Miami Heat. Despite the late game push to overcome a 15-point second-half deficit, the Celtics fell short and the Heats came out with the W. Celtics coach Brad Stevens talked about the importance of improving on defense.
Our defense has to improve from what it's been in the first, 3 games or so. But credit Miami, they played with unbelievable intensity and togetherness tonight. And I thought that they were clearly the better team tonight. I thought that we started off defending really well in the first 3 minutes. Like, we were very active, very locked in, very engaged. We missed a few shots, and for whatever reason, it went kind of downhill from there. I thought at the start of the third quarter we were great, but you know, you're fighting uphill then.
Miami Heat coach Erik Spoelstra spoke on the resiliency of his team after coming off of a loss a game before and withstanding the comeback effort of the Celtics in this game.
That's been a quality of our group the entire season, just to continue to persevere, try to get better, learn from games, whether we win or lose. It was a tough loss, you know, last night, but we got right back to work in our team meeting and walked through this morning to prep. And a lot of guys stepped up. This couldn't be 2 or 3 guys playing well. You were going to need several guys playing well and doing it over the course of 48 minutes.
Coach Spoelstra also commented on the advantage of playing in the NBA bubble.
You know, it does matter. It does make a difference if you're not jumping on a plane and arriving, you know, in a hotel in a different time zone at 3 in the morning. You know, those are legitimately, you know, tough on teams, all teams.
Stay tuned for more coverage on the NBA on Eagle News and EBC Sports International. In Boston, Massachusetts, Julie Ann Louis Evangelista, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Before we let you go, we continue to thank our frontline and essential workers with a round of applause. We appreciate you. That is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again soon. I'm Ace Ramirez. We live in interesting times.